Greetings, this is Arthur Halgington, reporter for the Bumblyburg Inquisitor. Man, I'm going to have to work on that a little bit harder. And with me today, I have a guest, John Bostic. Say hello, John.
Hello there, Mr. Hollingham.
Harlington.
Harlington, right.
Yes, yes, yes. I was talking with a bunch of you, VeggieTales fans, and Arthur and John here, and we were, well, I haven't really got a lot to talk about on my news thing that I've got from my last person. So I invited him on for a little bit talk about what he's been doing lately on YouTube and the latest VeggieTales news. So that's what we'll be talking about today. John, you do like fan art and stuff. What's the most recent fan art you've done in the last few days?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The last four I did was one on Mary Larry, The True Light of Christmas.
Ah, yes. That's a
which
fun
is
episode.
the return. Yes, it's actually one of my sister's favorite episodes, believe it or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
And just one of my personal favorites is my Camilo Madrigal drawing.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Very interesting.
Yes, he's quite an interesting chap, I must say.
Indeed. I would put him somewhere in the prankster section of characters. Someone who can just come up with very kind of like one of my old cousins. His name was Simpson, and he enjoyed pranking Archibald, and I would just sit there and laugh and watch the whole thing go. Very enjoyable for me, but not very much for Archibald, unfortunately.
I would imagine so. And then the last two I did was Veggies in Space, The Final Frontier. Did that one. And for my 100 subscriber special, I did Saturday Night Fever drawing.
Which both of those are very good episodes. I personally very much enjoy space adventures and things like that.
Yes, the space epics.
Yes, they're very good, to go where no man has gone before. Classic line there. But very, very good things. All right, on to VeggieTales present day. I do not know much about what's been going on with what is it?
The VeggieTales show?
The VeggieTales world. No, I know the VeggieTales show. I watch them closely, but the VeggieTales world. Last I've heard that's been going on. Really, all that really happened was Larry Boy took a vacation. That's all I really know. They haven't given me too much information, which is a little bit of a downsider because I am a reporter. I must know the latest, but they just don't tell me. It gets annoying after a while. And then you invite people onto your newscasts like you and talk. So on with what's been going on. The VeggieTales show.
On with the program.
Yes, they released a episode yesterday, actually, on April 1st. It was not a joke. What was it called? The
Grumble Cure.
Yes, the Grumble Cure.
Which I saw yesterday.
You did? Okay. Well, I have not got the chance to see it yet, so don't spoil it from me. But what did you rate on a VeggieTales show standard 1 to 10?
Oh, 1 to 10?
Yes.
I would probably put it on. It's either a toss between 7 or 8. I'm going to probably give it an 8.
An 8. Wow, that's a high ranking there. Yes, I do enjoy their stories, especially when they bring in a Bible story that's not very well known. It gives me a chance to, I don't know, geek out because I like classic Bible stories.
Yeah, especially for the seminary educated people as well.
Yes, indeed. Very fun just to learn and understand and gain knowledge. It's very exciting. All right. Yeah, these are usually very short. I can't think of very much else unless you have something to say. I think that would be about it.
Do you enjoy, I actually wanted to ask you, do you enjoy or do you recall the sing-along albums they did way back then?
The sing-along albums, yes, I think I've seen a few of those. Like the very first one they did, I watched that one several times, and the Silly Song Countdown, that's of course a classic. Everyone has to see
Right.
that. And the End of Silliness, I remember quite a few of those.
And they even did like sing-along CDs where they did something like, Bob and Larry's Backyard Party or Pirates Buttload of Fun. Like those
Ah,
are really
yes.
fun.
Yes,
I
they
really
are.
like, yeah.
I have the road trip one, and
Oh yeah.
well, technically I don't. I live with Animator 2000, i.e., or I shouldn't use that word in news, but and Andrew Lever, I borrow his stuff, which he's getting annoyed about. I'm borrowing his channel, technically speaking. That's where this will be. And he's going to do a live stream soon and talk about whether or not I'm gonna keep doing these reports on his channel. But yes, anyways, go on.
Hmm. Let's see here. So I got a question. So what has been some of your favorite recent drawings since the past few days, or at least a
Some,
week?
some of my favorite recent drawings. Yes, yes, very good question. To a news reporter, from a news
Mm-hmm.
reporter to a fellow enthusiast of
Mm-hmm.
artistry. I haven't done much artist work, but my favorite drawing, wow, you do have quite a few. I would say that it's your drawing of me, of course, because
Yeah.
that is a very good one. But I'd also say your Celery Night Fever one was also very good as well.
Yeah. That was a pretty good one too. It's basically like I would refer to it as the High School Musical franchise in the VeggieTales universe, in my
Ah,
opinion.
yes, yes, indeed. That is a good comparison. Let's see. I should have written a script, I'll tell you that.
Don't worry, I can always come up with something on the fly.
Yes, I what does Mr. Lunt say that is improvisation?
I don't remember that, but I actually wanted to ask you: do you have any top 10 favorite VeggieTales episodes, or not really? Or
As Arthur Halgington, I of course will like the episode that I starred in, which not many people know
right,
about, will
right,
see me as the star of Christmas and an Easter Carol. I had one line, if I can recall,
right.
it was and
I
tea and cake.
celebrate with tea and cake the British way for me. Aha!
Yes, yes, exactly. You must be a
That's one of
fan.
my favorites. Well, yeah.
Yeah, very flattering. Yes, that's those two, obviously. But if I'm going to be fair, besides episodes that I'm in, I will have to say, um, my favorite episode is I really like parodies. So actually,
Hmm.
Minnesota Cuke and the Search for Noah's Umbrella. Not Noah's Umbrella. That's the second one. The first one, Samson's
Samson's
Hairbrush.
hairbrush.
Yes,
Actually, I actually listened to that episode at work a couple of days ago.
it is a very enjoyable episode to listen to and watch. They have lots of
Mhm.
good jokes in that one, especially the classic trying to pull off the classic cinematography in that was very funny.
I know.
Larry was not
Yeah.
having it in that one.
Interestingly, believe it or not, I actually have the Minnesota Cute figure with the snowball head and the golden nose. Believe it or not.
Oh, that's very cool. I don't keep collectibles, unfortunately, but Animator does. He has two, only Larry and Lunt, and they're both pirates from Jonah because
Oh
he
yeah,
loves
I
that
actually
movie.
have those. I actually have those too.
Yes, they're very lovely. He also had a like a model of the ship from Jonah, but
Oh yeah.
he got it when he was 5, I think, and it's very much in not one piece anymore. So he doesn't
Was
still
it
have that one.
no? Did he get it during the time Jonah was coming out, or did he get it like sometime like after Jonah?
Well, I believe Animator was born far a few years after the movie came out, so I'm sure it was not gotten
Uh,
immediately.
I was
No.
actually okay. I was actually born a year after No, it was a year before Jonah came out because I was born in 2001. So.
Fascinating, really. I can't
Hmm.
tell you when I was born because I actually vegetables, in case people don't know, aren't born, they're grown, which means it takes a while to reach maturity. And
Right, the maturity
yes,
process.
and
Yeah.
talking, that also takes a while too. And only select vegetables. I won't go into detail in any of that, but I know Animator was born. I don't keep track of him. 2005, I think. So 3 years after the movie.
Oh,
Yes. He's not
well,
to disclose anything. He might get me for that. You better be careful.
2005. I would have never thought of that.
Really, what? Just questioning. If you didn't know that, what would you have guessed?
I was gonna guess like his title. I thought he was actually born in 2000, like he was a year older than me for a moment.
Oh, really? Wow. Yes, he does act mature to an extent. I've seen him be a little crazy several times. But we won't go into too much about him anymore. Or else I will
Right. We
definitely
don't.
not be able to do one of these again.
Yeah, we should not talk about that. Like we don't talk about Bruno.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly like that. Despite the fact that we're all family as in related because we're all related to Noah. So in that terms, yes, exactly.
Yeah. If you like, that is, I like to talk about my top 10 favorite VeggieTales episodes. If that's all right with
Oh,
you, Mr.
oh
Arthur.
yes. Go ahead. That would expand our time and also bring I'm pretty sure pleasure to our listeners.
And I would also like to hear your thoughts and questions about it as well too.
Oh, very well. I will pipe in properly when I
Okay.
can.
Yeah. And these are, and most of these are just for like big nostalgia reasons and like other because people hate them so
Yes.
much and then, like personal favorites.
Yes,
And okay,
indeed.
so yeah. Number 10 is Are You My Neighbor?
Of course, that's the classic. It's the first,
Right.
and everybody says, the first is the best. That's usually the way it goes.
Right. That's actually one out of five of the best 90s episodes, in my opinion.
It it is a really good one, yes. Unfortunately, Archibald wasn't hired yet at that point, so I didn't get
Well,
into
he
the
was the
VeggieTales.
mayor.
Oh yes,
Well,
yes.
he was the mayor in Flibberaloo.
Yes, he was. Yes. So wait, he was in those ones. Yes, he was. No, he was the
He was
first
in the
cast. I forgot.
Yeah, he was in the first story. So
Yes, I'm thinking of Mr. Lunt. I'm close to Mr. Lunt and
right,
Archibald.
right.
Of course,
Well,
I'm
this
close to
is a
Archibald.
show before Mr. Lunt. So
Yes, he wasn't hired yet. Still trying to
right.
work on his improv at Second
Yeah.
City.
Second City. Number nine is Princess and the Pop Star, A Story of Trading Places. The one with Laura Carrot.
Yes, I saw that one. I hated the silly song in that episode. It was, if I remember right, that wait, I'm probably thinking of the wrong
Astonishing
episode then.
Wigs.
Oh, that's no, that wait a second. I like that one. Even though Archibald did go on the deep end there, it was humorous as a brother to see him
Yeah,
do that. I'm
actually,
glad
uh-huh.
they caught that on camera.
Oh, indeed. Well, I'm pretty sure he knew he was on camera. Otherwise, he wouldn't agree to do the silly song.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Still holding it to my brother. He of course has to go that way. Anyways, yes, I like that episode, showing you that you're special just where you are. I love that message. It's a very good
Yeah,
one.
I think that's part of it. Also, part of it is because it was in the 2000s, which in there you have like the whole Disney Channel style of the modernization, and that's part of it that I really liked. And because
Yes,
yeah, and you don't see Laura Carrot as a protagonist very much. So, and Laura is one of my favorite characters. So, believe it or not.
yes. She's an interesting, very special character that they savor for special episodes like that.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think I already on another podcast I was on, I already mentioned I was a missionary in Peru.
Oh yes, I think I remember that. That was with Finnegan Rowe on the Ultimate Unofficial VeggieTales podcast, correct?
VeggieTales podcast. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yes, yes.
When I was younger, I used to have the original 99 Laura, the one with the
Really?
retro hairdo. Yeah.
Wow. Not
Mm-hmm.
many, not many know this, I don't think, but well, actually, if you pay too close attention to the animation, you will. But they redid her hair between let's see, 2000, the 90s and 2002. They changed it for their movie.
For Jonah, yeah. It
Right,
was
and then
between, yeah.
yes, and then they changed it again later,
hmm
far later, but they did, yes.
Yeah. But I think I like Laura's hairstyle in that one than in the VeggieTales show, but still, in my personal
Yes,
opinion.
they've kept. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, sorry. You go, Mr. Hallington, sir.
I was just going to mention about her hair that they kept the style. Let's see, updated. I'm not sure when, but I do know that through Celery Night
She
Fever,
kept her,
it was
yeah.
changed, which it was the same style as they're using now,
Right.
which is the 2010, I believe, time frame, 2010, 12 to 2012 time period.
Right.
Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but I was like saying, it's just a really great episode. Not a lot of people like, and believe it or not, I'm not sure if you knew this, Mr. Hallington, but it's actually one of those few episodes that spoofed on classic literature, like what they did in the '90s. Believe it or not,
Right.
Prince and the Pauper.
Princess and the Pop Star. Yes, yes. It
It's
sounded
spoofed
very
on. Sorry,
familiar.
it's spoofed on Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain.
Yes, yes, yes. I was wondering why that storyline sounded familiar. I read quite a few of Mark Twain's writings. Even though
Right.
I am English, I do have to suffer through some American literature.
uh, and a number 8 is Twas the Night Before Easter.
Ah, that is no, very controversial episode because it's a parody on their own story.
Right.
For me,
It's yeah.
I don't prefer it for that reason, but otherwise, it's a very good episode.
Is it because of your uptight brother who's playing an American judge by any chance?
Yes, that is partially the reason.
But for my reason, it's just, nostalgia. And it's just one of those fun episodes. And especially when I was a little kid, the Up, Up, Up with Bunny song was really catchy. And it's just really fun, really silly, really goofy, really colorful. It's just fun, 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 fun.
Yes, it's classic VeggieTales humor. That's what you would
Right. At
say
its
there.
best.
Yes.
And you have like a couple of the classic pop culture jokes, like they're spoofing whole America's Got Talent and Don't Cry for Me
Yes.
Argentina. And
Yes. Yes. Those things are classic culture that it fades, unfortunately, is a classic thing to have in films and recordings, things you'd want. I digress. Anyways,
right.
go on.
Yeah, I thought you were going to refer to Scar as uh fading in the background or something. I don't remember what the quote was from Lion King, but it was something about I'm in the shallow energy pool, something like that. What
Yes.
was I going to say? And you can't forget the famous Macarena spoof with the Hopperina.
Oh yes, yes. That was also another embarrassment for Archibald. Very humorous to
Yeah,
me. I love that song for several reasons, including that and Archibald's embarrassing moments. I love those.
yeah,
They're
that was a lot of fun.
humorous.
Right. And it got, and I'm not gonna stay on this because you got to get to the next episode. But you got Melissa Doolittle as Cassie Casaba, which is really cool.
Yes, it is.
Okay, next episode. I'm not gonna keep it. Number 7 is Beauty and the Beat.
Yes, that is a very interesting like play on
Underrated,
words as well as
right?
a play on, how would
On
you
the
say that?
story.
Yes, it's a very good
Mm-hmm.
parody. There you go. I
What?
don't know why I
Yeah,
blanked on that. Very good parody, and it is very classic VeggieTales there.
right. Uh, I just love it. You get the fun of music, and you got Mirabelle, who a lot of people hate, but I actually love her southern twang and her really almost like Christ-like esque personality.
Yes, it brings another level to the episode, which I really enjoyed, despite the fact that I'm starkly British. I enjoyed it.
Right. And you gotta love the 1960s rock band feel. And I'm not sure
Yes.
if I'm not sure if you recalled, but when I was on Finnegan Rose podcast, I mentioned that it didn't really feel like they were spoofing the original Beauty and the Beast fairy tale. It felt more like they were doing like a Hallmark kind of feel episode in a sense.
Yes, it did feel very Hallmark-esque. Now I know why
Uh-huh.
Animator hates that episode. He's not a fan of Hallmark at all, or
Oh,
those kinds of stories. So despite the fact
yeah.
that he liked the message, I think I'll have to
Yeah, the
talk to him about that.
message is still relevant to me today, even as I'm still being taught that with something I would not like to talk about right now, but I've still been trying to learn to love people who despise me.
Right, love your enemies, do good to those that curse you, love those that hate you.
Do
Yes,
good to those who persecute you.
yes,
Right.
those
Uh-huh.
sage words from God.
Yeah. My two big nitpicks about it is number one, they have the one plot hole of why Mr. B is grumpy, like what was the cause or what was the root of it. That was one.
Yes, they never
And then the
delve
second
into
one,
that.
yeah, because if you remember in the back of the DVD cover, it says, in the back, one of the things it says, why is Mr. Beat such a grumpy beat? And it's probably, at first, when people read it, they probably thought, oh, we're going to get into the backstory of what really happened. When really they didn't show why he was so upset and grumpy. They just showed of why his hotel was a complete disaster.
Right, right. It adds a suspicion that they never answer. Kind of like that's for me to know and you to find out.
Right. I can come up with some, but it's probably going to be a little bit more sad than what they were originally going to have.
Yes, they trying to keep it positive is an important thing for some of those episodes.
Mm-hmm. Second gripe about, well, not gripe, is it's a little bit longer. When usually with these DVDs, it's usually like 40 or 45 minutes. They extended it to 50, not including the theme song or the credits.
Right. The expanding their regular
Runtime.
showtime.
Right,
Yes.
right. And I can't believe it, but I can't believe a lot of people would mistake Madame Shilo. Um, excuse me. I can't believe they mistaked her for Miss Agnetha when really it was a completely different character.
Yes, they it's easy to tell though when to mess that up when
Right.
when your face because I look very very similar to Archibald, despite the
To
fact
your
that I'm
brother.
he's my brother, despite the fact that we're not the same. In fact, we have very different
Right.
personalities and things like that
Yeah. And
change.
pretty, yeah.
Yes,
But it's really mismentioned from Penniless Princess, which I think in my mind now, I think it's a great choice. Like that was like the least unexpected thing first time watching that. I was like, wait, that was mismentioned? Huh. What a complete switch.
that does add to it, and also she's one of the newer characters. I think they wanted to just bring her
Mm-hmm.
back, so
Right.
she's not
They
in
want to
one
bring,
episode.
yeah, they want to bring back Marin Miller. Okay, so number six. This is actually another little bit of a controversial episode as well. Is Mo and the Big Exit.
Ah, yes. I don't prefer westerns. I know Animator loves them. He grew up watching all of the classic westerns, but me being British and everything, I don't prefer
Right.
it. Just because it's a western, I don't know anything about that. I will sit in my comfortable chair, drinking my morning tea and reading the
Right.
Times.
Uh,
Anyways, why would you choose that?
well, number one, it's because the story of Moses is really like a awesome cinematic story about God using an introvert like Moses, like who had no leadership skills and had a dark past and whatever, and he would be used by God to deliver his people into freedom. And it's just one of
Right,
those big impactful like cinematic stories in the Bible. And just to see
right,
it
it
as a
is.
sequel to and just to see it as a sequel to Little Joe is a lot of fun. And like you get Larry as Moses, like Archibald your brother as Aaron, Petunia as Zipporah.
Yes.
Like you see, it's just a really fun, awesome episode, and you can't really get the songs out of your head, especially with me. Like there's a few really awesome, fun songs in there.
Yes, it's a I like classic film story, and you may remember Cecil B. DeMille. Uh,
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with him.
he's a classic Hollywood director or producer, and he created quite a few movies. He filmed the one that most people will remember him for is the Ten Commandments, which
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah, 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 yeah.
a very
I haven't
cinematic
seen
film.
it. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
Yes, it's if you haven't seen it, you have at least heard about it. It's so big.
Right. But yeah, and another fun thing is you got the silly song "Best Down in Egypt," which is, believe it or not, a spoof on the theme song from Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah,
I did not pick up on that.
yeah. I didn't notice until probably like 2020 when I started watching Fresh Prince of Bel Air reruns.
That is interesting. Well,
Yeah,
I guess it is VeggieTales' thing to parody everything.
indeed. And it's just a really awesome story. I even loved it as a kid. But in a way, it's a little bit more on this. I would put it more into more serious VeggieTales episodes, just because of the tone of it.
It is more serious, less humor, more like
More, yeah, more intensity in a
yes,
sense.
especially with the scent up the river kind of
Right.
style makes it very, very, what's the
Very
word for that?
intense.
Yes,
Very intense.
intense.
And don't forget the what was it, the death of the firstborn thing, where they had to, they have to somehow make their own twist in it, but still keep the weight and the density of it.
Yes, they did a very good job on at least making it still serious without making
Right.
it traumatic.
Right. It's like the VeggieTales Raya and the Last Dragon for VeggieTales in my mind.
Right. I have not actually seen that movie, though I've seen the ads for it.
Yeah. It's an all right film. It's not one of your big personal bests, but I haven't well, it's not terrible. I've only seen it once, so but yeah, it's basically the Raya and the Last Dragon of VeggieTales.
Well, that is for all those who know what that is, that's a very interesting comparison. Right. We're getting close to the end of our time. So the last
Uh
few episodes that are on your top 10 list, let's go through
yeah, I'll make them
those.
quick. Number 5 is Minnesota Q can search for Simpsons hairbrush.
Yes. That is a very good episode.
Right. Again, nostalgia favorite. Love the adventure aspect of it.
Yes.
Number 4. Number 4 is another nostalgia childhood favorite one. Is the League of Incredible Vegetables.
Oh, yes. That one is one of my brother's favorites. Every superhero episode is his favorite just because he can play Archibald. Not Archibald can play Alfred in those episodes simply because he likes being one of the special side characters in those.
Right. Speaking about him being on special side characters, number 3 is the Penniless Princess.
Ah, that was a good episode. I love
Yeah,
the parody of
the
the
classic
book.
literature.
Yes, it's very good literature. I love those are one of my favorite books. I do enjoy that episode. I do know that some people pick a bone about Larry dying, but for all intensive purposes,
I was okay with that.
it is okay to get the
Right.
point across. Yes.
And I heard that everyone hates Sarah because she was so unrelatable and so insert whatever word you like. But in my mind, I'm actually okay with that. And here's my quick reason why. And it's because, a lot of people who may have like struggle with like deep depression or anxiety or everything, and who might like there's a lot of people who might consider about leaving the faith or dumping the faith because life's too hard. when you get an example like Sarah, but she goes through so much abuse that she still holds her head up high and still loves others and still like cling on to God's
Right.
hope. And
Yes.
yeah, and I
That's
would,
what makes the story really special, despite the fact that people would take Miss Minchin's I can't say her name, Miss Minchin's decision, like side and say she's so perfect she needs to be brought down, which is obviously a very illogical way to go about that.
yeah, and what
But
I love about, I'm so sorry.
go ahead.
What I like about Sarah is, like, like I said, that she can be a model to people, even though they're going through so much, that she can learn from this little girl to hang on to hope and faith, and to to persevere through the bad times and still love others no matter what, in my personal
Yes,
opinion.
it shows you that even in our daily lives we have more effect on others than we realize.
Yeah. Number two is, I mentioned this on Finnegan Rose podcast as well, is a Snoodle sale.
Oh yes, that one is a in my bar a higher bar because of the morals and
Right.
exciting, but it's there's no other reason besides that.
Yeah. It's one of those few VeggieTales episodes that gets me emotionally at times. So, and, it's just really, it was really impactful. But you got to listen to Finnegan Rose podcast to hear that story about how it affected me.
Yes, I think I remember bits of that episode. It's been a while since I have
Yeah.
perused those.
Produce. That's a fun word. Number
Indeed.
one is another controversial episode, Sweet Pea Beauty, A Girl After God's Own Heart.
Yes, I remember that from the podcast, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe you said you liked it because so many people did not like it.
That's correct. Well, they
That
just, and what?
go ahead, explain completely.
Well, a lot of people don't love it just because that it was like, okay, so what if the animation's not that great? I mean, okay, it's just still the story holds up well, and it's just the overall message. It's done right, and but it's because it's just really beautiful, no pun
Right.
intended, and you got the fun songs, and you got Petunia Rhubarb as the main protagonist. I mean, what more? I mean, how good can it get?
Right. In that sense, it's actually a very good episode having their character cast and everything. I do not necessarily enjoy that episode simply because it's fairy tale-ish, but that's just because I'm not a huge fan of fairy tales. Others who may love fairy tales might think that's a great episode. I do know that lots
My
of them don't like the animation in it, but
right.
I'm not an animator. I don't oppose bad animation. And I know Animator 2000 may oppose it and be a film critic, but I know he also prefers how does he put it?
Was it
Um,
Star of Christmas?
yes, he said his favorite was Star of Christmas. With animation, he says his favorite thing about animation is that poor or good, you've still done it. Like he says,
Right.
he says that it takes time to get it right. So, because I've
Right.
seen some of his early animations and they honestly suck, if I can say that in all British nobility. Uh, and he still says, well, it's just practice. So I know
Yeah.
that VeggieTales was supposed to be a larger company and they were supposed to have really good animation, but tough luck on them.
Right. You can't. Yeah. Sometimes you get dubbed. Yeah. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. What matters is really the payoff in the end,
Right. Quality over quantity.
I guess. And just quickly, I'd like to go through the honorable mentions,
Right. Go
and
ahead.
I'm gonna go as quick as I can. So we got David and Giant Pickle,
Yes, that's a good one.
Madam Blueberry,
Ah,
and another one we mentioned a moment ago, Easter Carol.
oh yes, and that one, which I star in. That
Right.
is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and that's another episode that's on the serious side for VeggieTales, in my personal
It
opinion.
It is. I enjoy how they, and I think we'll end on this. I enjoy how they take a story that was a Christmas story, and then they switch it and make it an Easter
Yeah,
story,
Easter.
which
Okay,
which is really really good.
I know. Okay, quickly, my cleric in the Stinky Cheese Battle.
Ah, yes, that
Uh,
is a fun one.
yeah, another one is another personal favorite, Gideon Tuba Warrior.
Ah, now there is an episode that I very much enjoy,
Me
simply because that
too.
story is so exciting and
Yeah.
unexpected. You wouldn't expect the unexpected is the best way to say that.
Mm-hmm. And another one's Duke and a Great Power War.
Yes, that is also a good one.
And last one on my honorable mentions list is Little Drummer Boy.
Ah, I enjoy how they copied the storyline, but also added in their own
They,
levels of complexity to it, which makes it impactful.
yeah, it's basically like a remake,
Yes, it is
right?
a
So
3D
that's
remake, and a
yeah,
CGI remake is not
yeah,
3D.
computer generated. Yeah,
The old one was the old one was
it was
3D
claymated.
claymation. Yes,
Claymation. That was when claymation was fly back then.
it was with all those episodes. Well,
All right.
thank you so much, John Bostic, for being on with me. This is Arthur Halgington, reporter for the Bumblyburg Inquisitor. Got it that time. With a special
Yes.
guest, John Bostic. Say goodbye, John.
See ya, everybody. Keep listening to Mr. Hollington's news reports as well. They're really awesome. He's really insightful fellow as well too. It was simply smashing.